that's enough mess around with settings. I was very confused because I had no music. I thought, oh, did I mute the music because I do that sometimes. It's very good music, but not if you're like listening to other music. But no, it was just my headphones like floating out. Well, I want to start a new campaign because that always goes so well. I feel like this is one of those games I keep starting over and over again. Like a lot of games, really. Did my flag get put in? Yes. Okay, cool. And I'm going to play in career mode because I hate myself. No. Well, I like the challenge of career mode. I mean, I could just play science mode, actually. You know, I don't. Thank you. I probably need some of the tutorial, which apparently they made a lot of changes, but I don't really know what they are or how to take advantage of them. But so we're playing in very vanilla. I should at least put in MechJeb, unless I don't know. It was implied that there's like new planning that might help. I don't know. I mean, I guess that wouldn't really replace MechJeb. I always found it weird not being able to plan a route before you're moving is just kind of weird to me. I'm so rusty. I feel like this is the game I have the most hours in relative to not having a grip on it. Easy. Career report. Easy. Launch. Try not to die, basically. I mean, which, as you know, Kerbals don't really die. They just get lost. Okay. I don't even know if I want to use this. I mean, doesn't this have a... Does this have a built-in parachute? Or is it, it's just like a... It has a built-in decoupler. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of another pod. It does have a decoupler. But that's not a parachute. Looking for where is the like how much of a hit it can take. Oh, 12 meters per second. Okay. 14 meters per so we're gonna go with the 14 meters per second because we're gonna hit the ground right now. Which we do have, okay, we do have I thought we had a picture. I was like, because with a small capsule like this, you can definitely do the whole retro rocket landing thing, or that's not really a retro rocket. This is it. Is that really all we have? I mean, I remember the first launch is always kind of terrible. Well, of course you want your mystery gun. Which, why is this throwing me off? Oh, because I'm like looking at the fin face on it. Okay, nice symmetrical Death Trap. This is new. Well, I say new, I mean, you know, since I played it last. Which, this is the first computer I've had that can actually, like, play this at, like, a reasonable resolution. Well, I always call these darts just because it doesn't even look like a dart, really. I have a, like, inability to come up with names. Oh, you know what I should have done? We're fine. I could have turned down the throttle. Well, we'll see if I have to turn down the throttle. We have this lovely, what the hell is that? Seriously, the wool. It's a bunker? Okay. Maybe. Getting some weird graphical nonsense. Which I wasn't sure if the resolution settings are my old settings. They kind of looked like they were, and I tried to, like, reset the graphics, but I don't know if I succeeded. Like, there wasn't anything that looked obviously turned down. Okay, let's just go. I did the bad thing, which is let's just, yeah, let's revert to launch. I forgot to do the thing because this is such a simple design. Oh, I also hold on. This is going great. We're supposed to do a crew report, like so. Keep experiment. We're also can get the goo, just because every science point counts. We can also do one of these. Technically, we could like gather our data because we can only keep one crew report, which is silly. I mean, we'll get the ability to keep later, but actually, maybe I will just do that. It just takes a sec. It's like loading is faster, although not instantaneous. But just we're back. We have the same broken setup, which is going to get us killed. Okay, we can go. Yeah. Nice. It's really nice you can actually see the obelisk without the graphics all turned out. And yeah, this isn't that bad. I mean, really, the yeah, it's like it. The parachute, as long as we come, you know, to a stop, more or less, we're fine. I mean, not even a stop, but it's like if we're not entering at speed into the atmosphere, the parachute will catch us no matter what. Oh, right, I should have done this. I'm a little worried about doing EVA. I probably could have did it like right at the peak. Oh, I also should have got the goo. Yes, I also should do this. It's hurting me that we don't have any of the landing strut whatnot. Let's see, how do we I'm just still yeah. Okay, we'll be fine. And touchdown. And we can actually get more stuff. I could get science by walking around. That's boring. And we can do that much later with an actual like, vehicle. Recover the vessel. Okay. I wasn't really paying attention. I assume we've gotten missions done. Up here. Yeah. Well, this is a bit involved for now. You know, I hate these because a lot of the time they're like surprisingly difficult to get the exact parameters. Like this should be doable. This one is, you know, it's something we want to do, and it should be somewhat easy. This might take a minute. Let's see what we've got, what we can get. Basic stuff. Yeah. Well, what do I want the most? Love these things. Although we could also really use an actual engine. I mean, we got, you know, we got this, but oh, I guess that. I don't know. It's like starting this game is great because you're very limited. Which it's like it's simultaneously hard but also easy because you don't have a lot of options. Is that even what I want? Well, no, actually, probably not. Well, the swivel is good. Because it swivels. I mean, does the other one swivel? If it does, it swivels less. Okay. Yeah, the other one doesn't swivel at all. Can we break the atmosphere? Probably not, to be honest. No offense to our girls, but Ben's. This is a non-actuated. It's mostly for looks, really. Makes me feel better. We did not get the fancy side couplings, which would, you know, be good. How big is this? Yeah, that's actually. Excuse me. It could work. I do wish I had any idea how to like math this. know it's saying like, oh well, the lower stages should have more thrust than the higher stages, which we seem to have backwards right now. It's kind of doesn't make sense to me, but what's here? Let's I should name this something else. Even though this design is very, like, we're not going to be reusing this design, unlike some later, you know, like once we build a moon system, something that, you know, that works. Okay, we're just, I didn't get the science pods. I should really get the science pods. I should really, actually, I should really do a lot. If I, well, we don't really have a dedicated, like, non-fuel tank bit. Which we can always attach pods directly to the nose cone, but that feels bad, right? We could. This is also really bad, but we could do one of these. Which is also, honestly, it's like, that's not really a good design, but it works. It worked before, right? It's like, Kerbal is somewhat realistic. I don't know if this would work in real life. Probably not. I'm not a rocket scientist. Okay, so this is a setup. And let's see what happens. Like, we're still very much in the just test stage. Later, it gets both fun and more difficult as we're, like, you know, launching satellites. I should also turn on that, probably. Which I don't think we're going to break the atmosphere. Also, this isn't really the way we should break the atmosphere. But I think we'll be okay. It's like, going straight up is almost never the right answer. But it will get us more height. Maybe? I don't know. Like, the thing is, it's easy to get a lot of height like this, but it's really not good. We not. This is not working. This is going. Okay. We're okay. We're just. Actually, this is. Well, I believe a lot's going wrong here. To the point that I'm not really. Okay. Well, once we get out of the atmosphere, it's a lot easier because we don't have to deal with rat. And we get a bunch of contract stuff. Nice. Wait, did that count as... Oh, we're not. We're really not, because it's 70K. In fact, this isn't gonna work. In fact, well, actually, we have some speed still. Like, if we can hold it, for, 15 seconds. Cool. I mean, it's cool as long as we land, which, well, actually, we should be fine. Yay! We did it. Oh, this is where we actually we should do the science. Don't forget to do the science, kids. Could actually do a EVA considering we're out of getting blocked. Actually, I can't because we're not really astronauts. Wait, did I do the report? Okay, just gotta make sure we get every drop of science we can. And I can speed this up. Actually, I really don't. It feels like okay. It feels like having more ship should slow us down. However, in my experience, the smaller lander slows down more, which that probably is more like parachute to lander ratio. Actually, should. Well, landing on a mountain is suboptimal. Oh god. Oh shit. Well, that's what not to do. Yeah, okay. Well, ideally, those don't turn at all. Okay, so we don't have a way to steer this stage. Is kind of a big problem. Oh well. Well, actually, we do a little bit. Which we don't want to actually go this way, but I forgot which way to go to. I want to say right. Like towards the 90 degrees is. Really, any direction that's not completely vertical would be somewhat helpful. I mean, except for that part. This is the completely wrong thing to go. I mean, the completely wrong direction to go. You're in kind of an orbit. Look at our orbit. actually, well, we don't have any of the nodes. I feel like we should easily hit 70. Because we're going up at it. So. In fact, we could try to straighten ourselves out. Because we want to hit the atmosphere. Yeah. Hit the atmosphere as flat as possible to get the maximum amount of slowdown. Get one. And Jeb has to get more levels as well. Although it looks very much like we might end up at another mountain. Although maybe not, because this will pull back. Hopefully we land like somewhere in here, which is also not. We just got very unlucky just last time. Oh, we need science again, because that never happened. I like to imagine that the ability to go back is an intrinsic kernels have. Or you could say it was a simulation, which is kind of funny. Imagine them having a version of a space program, like infinitely repeatedly. We should be fine. I mean, this really isn't flat. Also, I can probably tweak this to like. It's like we want to deploy as soon as it's not red or preferably green. That's probably what got me laughing. It's like we were still way too low to be deploying the shoot. See that this is fine. I mean, if we're over the mountain, that would be probably. Goodbye. Yeah, we're good. We're good. You don't show. Well, this is gonna take a second. I mean, this is the reason why you normally don't want to deploy your shoot this high. But it's like, ideally, we'd be over the ocean, which would allow for a much more. We'd know what the is of the terrain. I mean, we knew the height. We knew the elevation. It's just because it's, very. It worries me. Actually, I could do it another. Sorry, good. That's not a lot of signs. See how you can see the crater. That looks like the Death Star. Okay, and gently follow. Nice. Cool. Very cool. Don't get crushed by your lantern. Do that. I don't think we can actually like get anything from getting out. Like we can't take service samples right now. This is always awkward. Let's cancel the whole just accelerate it. But we can still hop off. Yeah, we just have EVA everywhere. There's no actual. Oh. I think I'm not sure how. Okay, that's actually on the radar. So, forward and taking a second. You know what? We're doing something. It's not that much we can do at this point. 64 science. Nice. I believe that means both of these. Which at this point we mainly just want everything. Just because we had later on we'll make more choices. How much does it cost to upgrade? That's actually not bad. EVA is important. We'll upgrade that. Patched comics. I should really look into using this more because I never use the admin building unless something goes like horribly wrong. Mission control. So we can get more missions. You know, we are practically in orbit. You know, like half an orbit. A fraction of an orbit. Oh, well, I mean, we can't this right now. Probably want to start from scratch. Do a new thing. Ooh, service bag. Love me some service bag. Because it's a convenient place to put stuff. Yes. Is 3 a good number? Maybe 2. Oh, those are. I forgot how big they are in their think we can. Am I thinking of another part? Because I felt like it should like bolt to the top and bottom. I might be thinking of like batteries too. Okay. And a little parachute. Actually, a good question is, what kind of landing can Cirrus Bay handle? Did we get mail? We got microstrap. That is good. Assuming this is good, I should actually just test this, even though this is. Well, we don't need to actually stand so much as, you know, as a barrier against the ground for a second. It's okay if we fall over. It's a bigger problem if we fall over on like a, you know, lunar setup that needs to take off again. I spent way too long. Oh, like we can get going sideways along the moon's surface. I need names. You know, I liked I think it was Alpha Centauri. I mean, it might be like it might be Space Empires. There was some game that had like well, that wasn't that bad. Like it will not stand up, but you know it's fine. It doesn't like stand up. But it had like a dictionary file for the names of. So it would like you would design a vehicle and name it. Like let's say an animal. Just to, you know. But so it would give you a name, and the names would all be along a similar theme. Actually, we could make that just a little bit wider. Just to, or can we? Oh, that's actually attached. I thought it wasn't attached. Oh, but why? No, I know why is because got be selected. Okay, it's fine. Close these though. Which this should also create drag. It's whatever. Eventually we'll get ferrets. You know, we didn't get a whole lot of actual anything. None of these can be moved unless they can. Kind of looks like the fin should be. Right? It's got those like notches sticking out of. And it feels like it could be. Well, if I remember my non-existent aeronautics training, we can, you know, put it in more like a parallel configuration, and then we can use the upper stage to steer. I also should look at like weight and everything. Center of thrust, center. Make sure or if we can handle it. Might need to bust out that upper launch pad. Honestly, I wish there was something that would also indicate the like just the like actual the center like geometrically. I'm like, oh, that looks pretty centered. I don't know, is that the exact center? You know, like it's not grossly off center. Although if anything, I think you want the center of mass to be lower rather than higher. That would make it, you know, point down more. Oh well. Well, if something goes horribly wrong, we just restart. Oh no, we can try this. Yeah, well, okay. Well, that's fine, actually. Actually, no, this actually, we can start all this together. Then we drop the boosters, then we drop everything. I do appreciate these warnings. Electric charge required, but not generated. That's not good. It's fine in this case, but yeah. Oh, okay. Save. No, I should have checked the price of the vehicle. Like, it'll be a while before the rocket costs enough to bring up. It'll mainly be it'll mainly be these upgrades. That's a problem. Which, I mean, how many parts? Many parts. Oh, it's exactly one part. Let's remove the parachute now. Well, an easy solution would be to remove one of the redundant science instruments, like this. Especially because that's the heaviest one. I mean, it's not like a significant rate, but okay. Like, that's not that. It's like, oh, it's just one part too many. Okay. We have a nice, I kind of miss the bunker. Right. Okay. So, we're gonna try to go 90. I believe is the direction we want. Maybe like quarter thrust. We'll see if that does anything. Hopefully, through this flight, Jeb will learn to steer. Which I might be going a bit too fast. I don't know. it's like it becomes a real problem as our just stuff gets bigger, and yeah, it's okay. Well, this isn't good. I'm trying to counteract what's happening. Might want to just restart. I feel like a restart. Yeah, I feel like that went well. I think I didn't use enough thrust, possibly. Possibly it was just the fuel running out unbalanced it. Because like, well, the faster we go, the more the air pushes against us. Could be the problem. Which is one reason to not go too horizontal too early. Because the higher we get, the less of a problem that is. You just kind of drift slowly towards the horizontal. Which, this is why mech jet exists. Although, I mean, yeah. Hold on. We're okay. We're okay. We're legitimately okay, although we're kind of a lot. We can actually slow down a lot. We can actually pretty much stop. I think these are mainly things we've already. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay. Kind of just go. Which a real concern is running out of fuel. Like putting yourselves into orbit and then not having enough fuel to the orbit. Although ideally we could do a very shallow 70k ish orbit. Okay, that's close enough. We're missing all the fancy things that tell us like I can't even remember. Periapsis. Up the things. So this looks like this will be happening. Are we considered to be orbiting? I'm not. Yes. Yay, money. No, it's funny that we haven't. Like, we're in orbit, we haven't actually orbited. You know. I wish I knew how high this was, because we could use that to plan a, like, sane descent. Well, it's like, well, it's lower than we are now, which isn't really. We'll see. We'll see. Just zoom around. Kind of bugs me. Actually, hold on. I should do my space science since we're in space. And we can actually do an EVA. Yes, do not remove helmets. Nobody knows why that's there. Well, I mean, it's good if you're on, except that I don't think you have a helmet anyway. I'm sure there's some situation. Well, that feels like a what? Oh, we already did it in space. Well, I mean, yes, but now we're more in space. We already did that. We did not do the barometer in space, which is kind of useless, but still, I mean, science is sometimes about doing experiments where you think you know the answer. Why do we have? Oh, these are like the couplers. That's new. Of course, whenever I say something is new, it could be as old as like a year or more. I don't remember. I played this last. Okay. Well, we're going down. Looks like we will, in fact, go into the atmosphere, which is good. In fact, we should sort ourselves even more. Oh. So, actually, no, we're, not quite. So, hold on. We'll swing around to the other side. This is good. And now we'll just apply just a tiny bit of thrust. Tiny bit. I don't know if that's enough. Probably. It's like we have all sorts of time, especially because this isn't even taking that long compared to like. It makes me feel bad when the missions last like months. Well, eventually you'll run into contracts running out because of that. I was like, the Kurgans don't really care, but it feels bad. Like, yeah, you shouldn't be spending that much long in space. At least without any like just sitting in the cockpit. Okay, let's see. Did that take us significant? Not quite. Awkward, to say the least. But yeah, this will just take a second. Let's just drop it like 50 meters per second. Which that's actually probably way more than we the. Yeah, that's definitely. The thing is, we would like to slow the other end from this end. Stop spinning. Which, while we are slowing ourselves down immediately, it's more that, you know. Oh, actually, this will. Okay, I'm way like I don't. We're gonna land. That's for sure. Well, I'm used to what happening is like coming back from the moon and not have fuel to make like you know to having to slow yourself with the atmosphere a lot. That's when you're going faster to. In fact, if I realized we were going down this much, I wouldn't. It's a lot easier with the advanced tracking. This is still fairly horizontal. I feel like we're gonna be okay. I say as we begin overheating. Actually use that last one. Actually, I want the we're fine. We're fault line. It's hard to get exact. It's like it's more than 100, but less than 1,000. We're fine. Just that would be a good time. Do one of those. Okay. Which I think that this should be set to a sane number. There it goes. Oh, what's that? We have something here, which is. Oh, we can actually get this. Barometer. Yes. I do the temperature. I have the memory. Fish. I want to say maybe. We can speed this up. Hope the service bay doesn't explode. I don't think I actually looked at it. Oh wait, didn't we have legs? It's okay. But yeah, I mean, did I start over after? No, I think we should have had legs. Possibly they always said. Even just, I don't think we can take samples yet. We could plant a flag. We should see what the heck. This is. It's like a tree. Why is there just one tree there? It's the one tree on the planet. I have no idea how far away it is, though. If we're on the moon, we can like fly there. Well, I don't think we can even do anything. Let me. Here's what we'll do. We'll plant a flag. And little tree. Okay. Because we're too lazy to plant. No, wait, hold on. Actually, hold on. Can I time? I can. That doesn't really. Yeah, I don't. I'm very worried I'll get there and it's gonna. You can't do anything because you can't take like, samples from it. You know, I technically don't have to go back. As long as we're on the planet. Which is kind of funny. It's like they don't have cars, but they have some way to recover this. I guess you can just kind of assume, you know, they have cities and cars and I'd say airplanes, except then you think that we wouldn't have to research airplanes. I don't know. Yay, level up. I do need to upgrade this. Uh, what do we want? Well, movable pivots. Well, yeah, that's kind of a big deal. All good stuff. Very good. Struts are a must. Okay, all these are good. Huh. What? This is new? These are I it's like it's hard to these descriptions are the way they're written. It's like, are you being literal about this being a fireworks? Like, okay, that's cool. Um, well, these are also nice. I feel like we want the winglets the most. Well, tail fin is also his tail fin is also a control surface. Gives a bunch of the main stuff, which mainly you will use to drive around the spaceport. This is also good. Brick. I mean, technically, the winglet and the tail fin are very similar. Wish I could compare these. It's like you can pin this, but it goes. It's 0.5, 95, 50, 25. So I want to say this, and we can get another, but we don't want to get both of the fins. I think. Kind of want more. Terrier. This is more of a vacuum engine. I mean, an engine for vacuum. Or an upper stage engine, if you like. Science is also good. Kind of, it's like, well, you need lift to get science. You need science to get lift. I'm gonna go with advanced rocket. Okay. I feel like we have at least one good mission in us. Explore the moon. Well, that sounds a little ambitious. Yes, it is. I mean, you could do fairy tourists, except did we get the tourist? Yeah, I feel like we didn't. No, I didn't mean to decline. Wait, did that actually decline? I mean, we have. It doesn't really matter. It's. I mean, like. I didn't want to take it. I don't want to like get rid of this necessarily. I should really look into these. I have like, is this actually possible? Sometimes it's very clear that it's it's easy to do. Sometimes it's not. Like this one is pretty easy. It's like splash down and test the thing, which we can actually do like immediately. Let me I should have did the moon mission anyway. Technically, we could do the tourists one at a time, but I like having. We don't. Okay. explore the moons. Which gives us mods. Of course. 2 tourists. I don't think we can sit at the moment. So, crew capacity 1. So, we need more and or more of an upper stage. It's kind of the same in a roundabout way. Do not use jet fuel space rocket. What actually? Which one was I using before? This one? 1.125 tons. Which, I mean, we could just use like one of these. We don't have to go like, oh, we need a smaller. Terrier. I feel like this is not going to be. The stages are kind of absurd. This goes like off through somewhere. So everything off the side piece. Put these around. That should be right. And so we definitely did have lights. They just fell off. Which, I mean, we did get pretty hot. Which actually I could look at the deflector. Except that I don't think. A blader. Radiator, that's kind of pretty long. No. That's one thing that always bugs me. Is that it, like, if you go over a part with X symmetry, it, like, tops that. That's a setup. Okay. We're gonna see how this goes. I could also use that. Which I'm never sure how, like, what's the proper way to utilize this. Like, we can just, like, put it here, for example. Yeah. What else? Oh, we didn't. We want the tail fins that we worked so hard to get, which will vastly increase our ability to control this thing. Possibly, we won't even need to activate this stage as early as we did, which is great. Also, that this should have a better name, because this was just the name of the head. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't do names. Familiar silhouette. blah blah blah. Moon. What's related to the I'm not allowed to spend more than 5 minutes. Odd. It's got 4 terrible. Okay, so we can test this. We didn't make much of a change. Then again, I feel like the most important changes are the little changes. You know, do more with less, which actually we're fine. We're gonna try just using. Oh, we've got like fancy steering. So he kind of overcorrects a bit much. There we go. Nice kind of 45-degree angle. Oh, well, ideally, I absolutely kind of want to cancel this. Ooh, I really want to do it. Revert to vehicles. My mistake there was I should have. But no, we could really use the codex. Too much money. That sucks. Yeah, I don't feel like we're going to make it. Doing the moon without any of the orbital information is kind of a nightmare. I mean, what specifically do we have to do a flyby? Which I think we can do that. I mean, actually, let's try it. I also realized I didn't time the launch at all. And also, well, when doing a really phoned-in moon flyby, the tradition is just shoot straight up. It's stupid, but it's like an easy. Yeah. Actually, let's go to the tracking station. Okay. What? Oh, those are like other missions, which actually aren't that far away. I guess I assumed. It's like when they're that close, they're not that. Actually, this might be in position to do that. I forget how to. We're gonna try it. We're just gonna try it. And, when you have the ability to go back in time, abuse it. It's mine. But so we're just gonna go for that moon. It's gonna go. Just see what happens. could be smarter about this. Definitely. 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 Actually, I'm wondering if I like broke something in the settings because I could have swore we should always see our like stats. Like we wouldn't have the ability to plot a route. Actually, can I go? No, I can settings. Well, stop. Mm. Well. Oh, well, this is gonna work anyway. Rick. That is significantly not. Well. Easy solution. More. I think that's intersect. Maybe. Just barely. I mean, I'd be willing to try it. Just like, don't be surprised if it bugs out. Which I've gotten some really. Don't. Oh, I actually didn't want to use that engine. Oh wait, we had another friggin' stage. This is why I don't work for NASA. I mean, I still think we didn't have enough gas. We're just gonna gun it this time. Should really do that. Might even be like significantly early. It's hard to eyeball. I mean, oh well. Apparently, I might have just. Yeah, I really don't have a good intuitive sense of anything. Yep. Well, my thinking was, oh, if I throttle lower, then we burn more fuel while we're out of the atmosphere, while we're farther away from gravity. Seems like it would be better. However, you also punch through the atmosphere faster if you faster. I don't know. I'd really like to play this with someone who actually like what the heck. You know, this is a pretty close. I mean, we're off angle, but in like yeah. Oh, that counts as a flyby. That so we did it. So yeah, we need better. Our tracking station doesn't know what that is. Okay, so contract. So just get some data in return. Pretty straightforward. Nice. Do a little bit of EVA. Don't remove your helmet. No matter how smart it seems. Oh, activate rate. I didn't realize this had to be activated. That's good to know. Kind of makes sense because clearly it could get used up on the way out, which is going out is almost never a problem. It's coming back. So much science. Okay, I think I'm okay. We're good. We can admire the moon. Look at them craters. Kind of looks like a face, but not very much. Okay. That's enough sights. We'll see way too much of the moon. Like, goodbye, man. So, well, this will be interesting. It's okay, I am a trained professional. I'm really not. Wrong button. That's not what you want to hear from your astronaut. Well, luckily that actually did somewhat what I wanted to do. I just want to slightly. Can we get our astronaut pilot? I should say specific. Still. No, we don't have any. Okay. I want to just trying to eyeball this. I think that's good. I hope that's not too good. We should be fine. We have a lot of speed, which is good and bad. Well, it's like it depends on how shallow our flyby is going to be. What's going on with that altitude there? That's not right. Well, I think that's K is in 1,000, which is cool. I think that's new. Like 1,000 1,000. I mean, it's just thousands, but wait, we're actually bouncing. Okay, so that was not close at all. But actually, since we have so much fuel, we can do this. Yeah, this is great. I mean, we should have done this like here, but actually, it's starting to shrink that. Ooh. Well, good news, bad news. We're in the atmosphere. I think we're okay. Hope we're okay. Should have saved. I'm very bad about remembering to save in this game, which will come back to bite me. Hold up. That's not really helping. It's okay. Actually, what's our I'm not sure what actually broke, because it looks like this is really bad though. Okay, we are okay. So do one of these because. Because we're not going back up. Hey, it's the same place we landed before. It's actually a weird place. Good news, we'll be okay. We are missing legs, though. Most of them. But we're landing in the ocean. Oh. Goodbye. Cool, though. We're okay. Get a nice water landing. Some swimming in. What did we do? Well, I mean, a lot, but yeah, it's well, it's all about precision that I should have slowed down earlier in the wait. Never. Apparently, it's getting too late because I'm like, wait, I don't have fuel. Oh, we have parachute. Ooh. Ooh. What was that? That was just the stage. It looked too small. So we did it. We escaped the moon. Everybody clapped. You go. Okay. We will spin. Actually, we should have more science we can take. Love taking the barometric pressure. Okay, we're good. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. I would like another level. Okay, we really want this just before anything. So yeah, oh yeah, that's like increase our science on it. And surface samples, which is expensive. That's fine. Don't really care about it. I need to look into actually using this like actively because to me all these seem like well they have trade-offs is the thing. So it's like well you can get more science and less money, for example, which would really be helpful when we start getting like automatic science from installations and stuff. Space plane, we're gonna have to work. That's not a bad idea. Well, that's also not the worst idea, but again, we'll do this when we need to do this, which will probably be soon.
Oh,
Yes. Well, of course we want to land and get science from. Oh, I should also look at research. And tourists would also be a good idea. Moonstone. I'm intrigued. But yeah, we should. We just we need all of this row. Basically, it's just that's. I guess that makes it really sense. That way, we've got more science, antennas, radiator. You know what though? We need electrics. We should be okay. Like electrics are primarily we're gonna want them for like long term operations. Like, it's not. It's otherwise it's like usually if you're moving the ship, you're using the engine, which generates electricity. Crew cabin, perfect for tourists. Okay. But yeah, this is a good place to stop. Where nothing, we're not like, I'm not going to become obsessed with solving the problem. We have like helipads. I mean, we can actually build a helicopter. Actually, we could build a space plane slash rover that would let us get science from everywhere. Although that works a lot better if we have the surface sample. I mean, what the research and development. Yeah, technically we can get technically. Okay, but let's stop. Which I think it all saves. But okay, thanks for watching. Goodbye.